Hello there you, and welcome to a gigantic army of KHORNE. And today they try to dislodge the Imperial Guard from the Blood Aqueducts, an ancient and mysterious structure designed for the flow of blood from the battlefield. Will the Imperials be able to stop KHORNE from reclaiming his prize? Or will pure violence and weight of numbers carry the chaos through to victory? But before we do kick off today's battle, I just want to say a massive shout out to all the channel members who helped keep this channel going. And if you're not a channel member, why the heck not click the join button down below. And while you're at it, go ahead, check out the amazing KHOTIPinky store. We got some really cool merch over there. All that being said, let's get on with today's fight. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, and this one promises to be an absolutely insane battle that we've got here for you today. So, if you'll notice the terrain here, we've got all these lovely little channels here designed to filter all of the goo in the battlefield all down into the lower regions. However, of course, with these natural valleys and trench lines here, it's all just going to get clogged up and become rather horrific as the fight goes on. But you can see at the moment we've got our initial swarm of poxwalkers flying overhead. They're here to initiate the first waves here, while the heavier units start making their way up. A couple of renegade gunners also backing up the chaos side here. You can already see that this is going to turn into a monumental battlefield. It's stretching out across the entire field here. The Imperials have already got 160,000 kills to their name. At the moment, a great big Krieger line of about 1 million Kriegers with shovels is holding that front in place, not letting chaos move up its forces. We have got a bunch of Imperial conscripts as well as Death Corps of Krieg laying down covering fire into the advancing ranks. Now, normally in this game, high ground can be a little bit of a disadvantage. It can block a lot of shots. However, with how this terrain is currently set up, I've noticed that the high ground is really effective because the guys at the back over here can essentially shoot right down into the front rank, so it works out really well. At the moment, though, them Kriegers really holding the line, keeping the chaos in place. You can just see the gigantic swarms making their way up the side of the aqueduct here. Again, that Krieger line, look how far this is stretching. Oh my god, this is such a longer battlefield here. And look at this side, though. The Kriegers massively outperforming the rest of the army. Able to push around into the flank here before Chaos was able to get most of its units up, though it does look like the sheer melee scale and prowess here for the Chaos is starting to pay off. Marauders getting to the front line here. They're going to give the Kriegers a run for the money in terms of melee prowess. We have actually got this little defilade starting to form. That means that it's very evenly matched here. The zombies versus the Kriegers, real good matchup. Kriegers holding the ground, and look at all that firepower just raining down in the background. It's so cool to watch. Imperials have still got plenty of reinforcements that they can fling into that front line, but so have the Chaos, and look at this. The majesty of the Blood Aqueduct is starting to show itself here, gathering the goo at the base. Now, bit by bit, that is all going to start spreading out, and it will trickle down into the lower levels before dissipating into the fields below. Oh my god, look at this attack. This is one thing I really like about this map. It makes the attacks look so cool here as they're all piling over, trying to find some purchase here. A little chink in the Imperial Guard armor. The Chaos are slowly moving up them heavier units at the back. The Chaos Chosen Warriors, extremely strong in melee combat, and very tough actually. They can take so many bullets, it's unbelievable. We're actually starting to get these goo fields here appearing on the normal levels, not in the aqueduct itself, because of all the corpses that have built up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is the wall of corpses. It's not part of the aqueduct itself. Look at that. Oh, that's a magnificent sight. I love seeing that. All the bullets flying through the air, the artillery as well, and pounding down. Let's go scoot over to our far flank, because it's going to be in the flanks, realistically, where these games are won and lost. The front line is just going to be this horrible grind between the two armies. So at the moment, then, realistically, it looks like the Kriegers have managed to push forward into the zombie hordes here. However, you can definitely see the presence here of the heavier troops for Chaos having an effect, crushing their own way through the flank. They're actually advancing at a rapid pace here. The Kriegers not able to offer that same level of resistance that we do have in the center lines here. Chaos really is storming ahead, just gaining so much ground. We've still got this little Krieger outcrop caught on the side, which is primarily dealing with zombies. But yeah, this push in the middle, that's a lot of marauders and a lot of Chaos chosen KHORNE warriors. It is brutality unchained on the front lines here now. The Imperial Guard, 1.7 million kills under the belt, still 3 million odd to go. However, the Chaos are catching up in terms of kill count here now. Look at that, 92,000 kills. That front line is so brutal. So many Kriegers charging into it, trying to get a good shovel attack off before they perish. Oh my god, look at all the blood underneath. It's magnificent. It's all gathering up. Now, this was actually impassable in this place to start with, so they've actually managed to build up enough corpses now to start making their way up here. And what that is also going to do is it's going to create a little bit of a dam, which means that the blood can't escape out of this area. The Chaos, though, grinding their way forward, trying to gain some little breach here in the Imperial Guard line. Let's go back over to this side. I want to have a look at these, because these entrances here, these could be really deadly weak points in the Imperial army, because it really does allow Chaos to funnel its heavier units into one area. And as we've seen on the other side of the field over there, that is really effective for the Chaos. At the moment, though, it's mainly Renegade Gunners and the zombies, the Poxwalkers, just softening up them front lines of defense. You can see a couple of the Renegade Gunners returning fire back into the Imperial lines from this side. How are we doing on this far flank now? Because the Imperials were storming ahead before. Okay, so they're still holding it here against mainly the zombie hordes. Yet again, though, the same thing has happened. The heavier units have come swooping in behind them and are now surging forward through the Imperial lines. My god, tried to render all this at such a far distance because you can see so much of the battlefield. I can feel my frame rate tanking on my computer here a little bit. It's because you can literally see the entire battlefield, though, I think. There's no hills what's it? Obfuscating? Excluding? I don't know. I think both work realistically. But yeah, look, this is just a slow grind forward for the Chaos. And look at them, lovely lakes appearing. And the Blood Aqueduct here living up to its name. Are any of the others starting to fill out? No, not yet. But I can really feel the firepower here for the Imperials. Doing a real good job of holding back. Oh my god, like I said, this isn't even an aqueduct in the center over here. Just the sheer weight of corpses that have built up have caused this to happen. I mean, you can't even tell what is happening on the front line. Even here, up close and personal, looking at it point blank, it's such a frenzy. It's almost impossible to see, like, where the actual front line is. The units intermingling here. You can see how many conscripts are just point blank laying covering fire into this. That's a lot. Almost feels like a bit like a World War I style charge on this map. Oh my days, look at this. Just the sheer level of gore that is now littering the field. Khorne's forces push on. The Imperials coming up to almost just below 1 million now, actually. Yeah, there we go. It finally happened. The Imperials have been taken below 1 million units. However, there's only 1.6 million chaos left on the field, ladies and gentlemen. This could be bad news for the Imperials. But the relentless nature of the assault is having its effect. 285,000 losses to the Imperials. I'm going to go ahead and say most of them are probably the Kriegers with the shovels at this moment in time. But the conscripts will quickly make up that. Oh god, look, it's starting to drain out now. Oh, that is brilliant. The second lines are starting to fill up. Oh my god, look at this though. This is what we're waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. The big, heavy assault is making its way forward. God, look at all that. They're all the Khorne's chosen warriors. This is what Chaos does. It's got this weird tactic in it, Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator, where it just seems to throw all the heavy, all the weaker units at the front line first to create these horrific battlefields, and then all the heavy units just come in at the end to try and mop up. So we're going to have to see if that works for Chaos here, because them heavy units, the Chosen Warriors, they are really slow and lumbering. But like I said before, they can take quite a beating, and they deal out quite a beating also. But yeah, that means up until this point, it's mainly been Marauders and Renegade Gunners, as well as the Poxwalkers advancing through this. Oh my god. I love these. Look at these little valleys that we've made. Oh god, it does actually look like we have got a few of Khorne's Chosen making the way to the front as well. So, even with just a few trickles of Khorne's Chosen on the front lines here, the Imperial Guard are taking heavy losses. In fact, Khorne might be able to push right over into the second Aqueduct channel here. It's conquered the first one, it pushed past that one. This is where the Imperial defenders were mainly held up before. So now the Imperials have got to try and hold on to this second Aqueduct pit, because after that, this is it. This is the top of the Aqueduct. And that would be all Imperial forces dedicated to the fight then. Have they managed to push through any of these center lines? Oh my god, look at all that goo in the center. Look at it. It's absolutely wonderful. And I think we're starting to get now the forward poke here of the heavy units. Look, oh yeah, they're definitely starting to make their way through. Luckily though, the Imperials actually managed to create enough blood here to mean that they can't use all of their heavy units at once. That's probably a really good thing for the Imperials, but it hasn't yet slowed down the Chaos. This is the important thing. The Chaos are relentlessly pushing forward. We're even getting these little Krieg countercharges, which aren't actually holding the Marauders and the Chaos Chosen in place. God, yeah, the artillery there taking out so many of the Marauders. So it is having some really good fire of effect here with the Krieg countercharges going on. That's it, lads. Keep pushing up that hill. Your prize of skulls awaits. I can't get over how much gore is actually just filtered down into these lower levels as well now. That's really cool. I mean, that's how I kind of designed the map, to be honest. I really wanted it all to just funnel into these centers. But then, honestly, I didn't know what to do with it afterwards, so I just sort of had it filtering out into the fields. I was trying to look for some, like, cool Khorne symbol assets or something like that, which we could drown slowly but surely with the blood at the end of them, but I couldn't get them to work in Unity properly. So, sadly, yeah, there's no Khorne symbols on the map, which was my original idea. Just have a Khorne symbol at the end of each of these, sunken in a pit, and then you'd be able to fill up the pits with all the goo. If it ever managed to trickle out, because look at that. There's just so much of it now caught behind the body piles. And this massive push of heavily armored units is plowing its way through the Imperials yet again. 500,000 Imperials now left defending. 700,000 chaos. The numbers are starting to equalize rapidly here. Oh god, I've got the mouse cursor on my screen. 2 seconds. You have to press escape to get rid of it. Just, there we go. That was annoying me. It was stuck on my other screen for ages on my second monitor. So every time I was moving the camera around, it was highlighting things on the second monitor. I'm like, don't click the button. I'll open up a different program. But there we go. Yeah, if you ever have that problem, just press escape. It gets rid of the little mouse cursor for you. Chaos are searching forward. Let's go over to the far flanks then. We haven't checked on these in quite a while. Oh my god. The Imperials have run out of reinforcements on this flank. Look at this. This is a critical breakthrough. I mean, when I say a critical breakthrough, it's all the heavy units yet again for Chaos. Corps chosen and the Marauders here. Just completely storming over the entire flank. There's only this thin line here of Kriegers left, and I'm sad to say, they're not going to put up much of a chance, these guys, against holding back these kinds of Chaos units. The Chaos then are actually starting to wrap around. That's kind of impressive. I love how the Imperials have got this really wonky defense. You can see where these hard-to-attack locations are. That the Imperials have managed to push a lot of units forward. God, guys, you need to back up out of the blood. We don't want you drowning in there. Look at this. Oh, that's an excellent artillery hit there. Yeah, and what I really like about this as well, it's not just an aqueduct, it also feels like some sort of gigantic trench. Just look at that stretching off into the distance. It's really cool. Oh, Chaos running out of reinforcements. Yes, it is. Oh, Jesus. Jeez. Oh, my days. Okay, yeah, but look, Chaos are running out of reinforcements in the center line here. This is everything that they've got now. Committed. They've got to break through this last line of Imperials with this, or it's out. If the Imperials break through this line, they're going to start to be able to perform a pincer maneuver on the Chaos. So yeah, this is a critical junction here for some parts of the Chaos army. In fact, we might have a little bit of a repeating motif. Look at this. The flanks, once again, starting to fall over here. The Chaos are pouring through them. Imperials down to 200,000. The Chaos, 480,000 troops still remain on the field. Yeah, them heavy units have really started to come in clutch. They were starting to get little Imperial breakthroughs like this one. The Imperials are starting to make some progress in clearing out the Chaos line. Again, look at this. Oh my god. Not quite deep enough for little Timmy, but I'm sure it is in different places on the battlefield at the moment. But yeah, look at this. The Imperials managed to clear out a vast swathe of the line here. Now they can start bringing these reinforcements up to where they're needed. The Chaos heavy units are getting thinned out in our center line. The Imperials are putting up a magnificent defense now. Still outnumbered, but never outgunned. In fact, I don't even think that the KHORNE army has really got any renegade gunners left. Maybe there's a couple over here. Oh yeah, look, there's a couple of them over here. So they do still have some renegade gunners left. But I think most of them got taken out by the artillery and conscript fire. Oh my days. Yeah, KHORNE is sweeping all over the side flanks now. The Imperials tried the best to hold up. Look at this, they're all backing up. I think what's going to end up happening is we're sort of going to get like a little bit of a last stand motif hopefully going on at the center, because it looks like the army of KHORNE here has managed to capture both of the flanks now against the Imperial army. But this is the thing, the horde is scattered. It is two separate hordes now. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're full of really mean, ugly, hard-hitting heavy units. So the Imperials are definitely going to have the work still cut out. But I'm very hopeful now, because we have got these reinforcements coming in from them center lines, haven't we? I mean, they're on guard mode, so actually they might not be. Oh no, they are. They are actually making the way over there. That's a good thing. Yeah, sometimes when they're on guard mode, what can happen is they can kill all their enemies near them, and they'll go, oh, there's no enemies now, we don't have to move, and they'll just sit there. But luckily, it looks like they're actually spreading out into these flanks. And I do think we're going to lose this portion of the line. Way too many heavy hitters here just coming in for the Chaos. Look at these. Oh my god, this entire area is impassable, I think. Yeah, completely impassable now. The AI could not make its way through there. little Timmy can get his rubber dinghy in here. Let's go have a look at some of the lower levels as well. This is where one of the main defensive lines was. But yeah, I think what ended up happening is all the blood was basically contained up here. Let's go down into the lower levels real quickly and have a look at these ones. Yeah, not too deep. That's absolutely fine. God, look at how much actually filled out. We were even starting to fill out all the dirt area. Oh, man. That is really good. So, yeah, I think we're going to lose this flank here now. Actually, yeah, there's a lot of renegade gunners for the army of KHORNE here still. Real good news for the KHORNE army. Not so much for the Imperial Guard here. Kriegers still trying to charge forward with the shovels. They still want a piece of that action. And look, we're starting to get a little bit of a breakthrough here by Chaos. Not quite yet. I don't think it's got the reinforcements in this part yet to quite, capitalize on it. And we have got the Imperial Guard reinforcements now coming from the center lines, spewing it forth towards the flanks to try and help out. Oh, damn. Look at this. Okay. That's a lot of renegade gunners. I'm really worried for the Imperials now, actually. Seeing that many renegade gunners all stacked up, and behind them we've still got all them heavy units who are actually coming around the flank a little by little there, but yeah, I'm a little bit worried now for the Imperials. It's a 3-to-1 ratio in favor of Chaos. The Imperials have got the defendable ground though, or at least they did have. Come on, guys, we need these reinforcements. I think they're getting distracted by little groups of Chaos all over the place, so at least they are starting to make their way to them fronts. But yeah, I don't know if the Imperials are going to be able to win this one, ladies and gents. This is going to be a tough old call here. So what, we are now less than 100,000 Imperials? Yeah, okay, I'm not sure about this one. We're going to hit a little time-lapse camera here, and hopefully these Imperial Guard reinforcements can start closing the gap a bit. We'll be back in a second. Welcome back, folks. So we have now closed the gap here between the two armies. The Imperial reinforcements have come in, and they're experiencing the brutality here of dealing with hordes chosen. Yeah, just giant axes coming down and splitting open skulls here. Actually, that's one thing I've always wondered. Like, does the skull have to be intact for KHORNE? Let me know about that one, because I always wondered, like, does a skull that's been, like, cleft in two by some gigantic chain axe, does that count as a skull for the Skull Throne? I'm not quite sure. A bit of a skull is still a skull, right? That's all I would imagine, that no matter what state it's in, the skull still counts. What if it's crushed to bone by, like, you know, crushed to dust, or just completely evaporated by the whim of a titan? Just it fires its volcano cannon at the line of Imperial Guardsmen. Do they count? What's the nuances about collecting these skulls? Getting to the real questions of the 40k universe here now. Yeah, 53,000 Imperials left here. Let's go have a look at the other side. How are they doing over here? Did they have any success in dealing with the Chaos Horde? Oh, it looks a little bit grim, doesn't it? It looks a little bit grim. I mean, we've still got quite a few Kriegers left on the field, but they're in the process of getting completely swarmed at the moment. Actually, look at this. We've got a load of reinforcements coming in as well now. Maybe there's a chance yet that the Imperials can hold back, because they have still got quite a bit of firepower in terms of Kriegers left on the field here. And these guys do kick out a lot of damage, so maybe there is a chance here that they can start to whittle down their enemy bit by bit. I mean, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like the kill ratio is swinging vastly in favor of KHORNE here. But there's hope. We've got to hold out hope for the Imperials. For the sake of the Imperials. It's like Orky belief. If we don't believe, then the Imperials won't believe. And I mean, they've still got a lot of forces scattered out behind them as well. But I don't know about this. Them numbers are dwindling up far faster for the Imperials than they are for Chaos. But that is because we've got a load of Kriegers on the front line. And unfortunately for the Kriegers, they're going up against some of the best melee combatants here that KHORNE has to offer. Although, the Kriegers looking like they may have done their job on this side of the field here. We've managed to whittle them down. That is absolutely brilliant going here. Let's go check on the other side of the field in a second. I just want to see how many Chaos reinforcements are over this side. Okay, so yeah, there's still quite a few reinforcements coming in from that side. So yeah, I do think this group here might get wiped out. Let's go see how the fate of the other one is getting on. God, look at these trenches. Oh my God, look at that. Oh, we got a little Krieger standing in the trench. Hi. Oh, sorry, yeah, let's go see how the war's getting on. Oh, okay, yeah. They're getting completely swarmed over this side of the field. It's deadly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure now that the Imperials have lost this. I thought they might have had a little bit of a chance to hold out, especially with that countercharge from the Kriegers that seemed to hold that flank back, but this side of the field looks just as bleak as the other side here at the moment. So let's just run a quick time lapse. Let's get the final kill count here and see just how well the Imperials did. We'll be back in a second. Alright folks, we're down to 1,000 Imperials. Now I've got to say, look at this, they're actually about to bring the Chaos here, but there were 100,000 units remaining. And considering the Chaos fielded over 1 million here, even though the Chaos have won the battle realistically, this is somewhat a Orion victory here for the Imperial Guard. They've inflicted a deadly blow against the forces of KHORNE, taking out so many of his chosen warriors here. I mean, look at this. They are just storming across the blood aqueducts here now. And thankfully, the blood aqueducts lived up to their name. Look at that. Is that not magnificent? Yeah, the pincer maneuvers coming in a little bit here now for the Chaos army. But I really love this. Look at all this lovely goo that's just made that blasted all over the place here. Oh God, what the hell? We've got a floating man. We got a floater. Oh God, how deep is this? Oh, little Timmy be praised. That is really awesome. That is really deep. Well, with the last 500 Imperial Guard on the field here, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's safe to say that KHORNE have got this one in the bag. So we are going to be ending this one here, my lovely internet chums. And as always, I do hope you had a blast. I know I did. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, until next time, peace.